Hey, so if you're anything like me and you have a 60 watt CO2 laser, probably one of the first things you're thinking about is how do I upgrade? Lucky for you, I took the leap. I upgraded my 60 watt to a 100 watt after a few months of using it, I think about 6 months, and I don't regret it. But something I do regret is that I wasn't able to find much documentation on how to actually do the upgrade. For me, the most difficult part was the wiring, and I really wish that there was a resource there. So as I made the upgrade, I took notes, and I'm going to share those with you today and let you see how I did it. So if you want, you can freeze this here. I'm gonna bring it up throughout the video, but like everything aside, this is what it is. This is the punchline. So, and this shows how everything's wired up. At least this is for my particular laser. So yours might be the same, yours might be different, and then I'm gonna dive into what each one of these means. Actually, I'm gonna do that now. What you probably already have is your CO2 laser right here. So you have your power supply, and then you have a red wire and a black wire. Sometimes there's a white wire instead of a red or a black. That goes to your laser. So from your power supply to your laser. We're gonna have to dive down just a little deeper and unpack that. And what I mean by that is on your laser. So on your laser, there's gonna be a control board inside of there, and it's gonna look something like this. There's an X-axis controller, a Y-axis, and then for me it's channel 5. This goes to my laser. And I know this goes to my laser because I actually physically traced the lines to my laser cutter. What you're also going to notice is that there's going to be another set of wires that go another direction. That's right here. And that's for my water protection. On my laser, you're also going to notice this is a DY-13. So if you're going to get a Reci W4, chances are you're going to get a DY-13 power supply. And this is what it looks like, and this is how I wired it. If you notice on here, there's a water protection element as well. So from what I understand, there's two trains of thought. There's either the water protection is going to be handled by your power supply, which will be here, or it's going to be handled by your main board, by your Reci controller. In my case, it's managed by my Reci controller. So there's actually a water protection switch that's like somewhere inside my laser, and the two wires that go from my water protection switch actually end up right here onto this controller. And this is a schematic of what the controller says, but long story short, pin number 4 says WP1, which is water protection, and then pin number 1 is ground. So when things are operating normally, your water protection is always grounded. So that means if there's water flow, it's going to hit a switch in there that's going to cross those, and it's going to keep them grounded. Whenever water stops flowing, it opens up and it stops the laser, and that's what my controller does. So I have that function on my controller. Now, to tell my power supply not to touch it and don't worry about it, this is actually grounded on my power supply. Water protection is jumped with the ground. Is jumped to the ground, short-circuited. That tells my power supply that nothing to worry, nothing to see here, we're protected. If you look at the main board for your Reci, you're gonna see, and if you see it, your water protection and the ground going in another direction, that's a good sign. And that it's wired as it should be, which is to the switch in your water protection for the flow. Between the power supply right here and then your controller right here, there's going to be three wires connecting the two, and it's really simple. So you're going to have one that's either going to say L or TL right here, and that guy is going to go straight to the L, which is like your constant power. It doesn't power the laser. I'll show you that in a minute. But basically L, just know that L, ON1, goes to your TL, or in some cases, it'll just be an L. So that's one wire. I guess there's 3 total wires. That's one wire. Your second, and in my opinion, extremely important, is your ground wire. And then the third one is going to go to, from the power supplies that I've seen, they all say in. That's IN, India November. And that's going to go to your LPWM1. And from my understanding, that's your signal. That's going to tell the laser how much power to actually send, or it's going to tell your power supply how much power to send to the laser. So you have your ground, your LON1, and your PWM1. And those are them. So again, ground goes to ground, L goes to TL, and LPWM goes to N. And that's it. I mean, this blew my mind when I was first trying to put my upgrade my 60 watt to my 100 watt. I didn't know where the heck anything went. It's pretty confusing. So I actually had to draw it out so that a simple mind like myself could understand it. It was pretty helpful. And then, but none of that's going to work unless you actually send power to your power supply. And in order to do that, you got to get it. The general idea is you have to get the power from the wall to your power supply to your laser. Those are the 3 chain of events that must occur. So to get the power from the wall to your laser, there's going to be a power bar in there. It's possible yours looks like mine. It's possible that it doesn't. But the concept, if you understand this concept, then you'll be able to apply it to yourself. And that is, it goes from the wall to a power bar. The power is going to have, and then there's going to be 3 wires going from this little power bar to your laser. And on the laser, they usually say FG, which is your ground, and then AC, AC. I don't know if I did it right or not. I did black then red, but you could probably do red, black. I don't know if it matters or not. This is how I did it, and this is how it works for me. So something to note too is that 2 months after I upgraded my power supply, it died. So the DY-13 died, and in its place, I put a LightObject power supply, which is here, and it's the same freaking thing. So these are out of order. So these are not in the same order. So you can't just take this connector and connect it to the new power supply. It won't work. And I went L to 2, and I grounded the water protection. I grabbed the ground, put it to 1, and then the PWM I put to N. And it works like a charm.